Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the December 10th Planning and Zoning Commission meeting to order. Would you all please stand for the pledge? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hubbard? Here. Commissioner Bradshaw?
Present.
Commissioner Helms?
Here.
Commissioner Kirkham?
Here.
Commissioner Moores? Chairman Hassett?
Here.
It's really,
Vice Chair Gillette?
the audio is really breaking up. I can't hear. I don't know if that's just me.
Commissioner Patilla?
Here.
Commissioner Martin? Here. Commissioner Rugi?
Here.
We have a quorum. Thank you.
Was that Morse? No, it didn't sound like him.
No, that's not Commissioner.
Automated announcements.
Anyone who has not signed in, please do so at the table located in the lobby. Should anyone wish to speak, please complete a request to speak form, which is also located on the lobby table, next to the sign-in sheet. A request to speak form must be completed for each item you would like to speak on. Please note, there are stairs on the right, left, and center aisles, and we ask that you use caution when using the stairs. There is also a ramp located to the audience's left. If anyone has written comments, exhibits, petitions, photos, or letters they intend to present at today's meeting, have 17 copies and give them to a staff member at the back of the auditorium. Staff member, please hold up your hand for the audience. If you do not have 17 copies, you may use the overhead camera to present your documents. Please place your documents on the podium and line it up with the arrows indicated. If you want your documentation to go on record, you must hand them to the clerk after your presentation with the agenda item number clearly marked on the documentation. Members of the public cannot speak to staff members that are seated at the tables with microphones during the meeting. If you have questions, please see the staff member located in the back of the auditorium. All speakers will be limited to 2 minutes to make their presentation statements. Everyone, please turn off all cell phones or place them on vibrate during the meeting. If you must take a call, please leave the meeting area and go outside to have your conversation. We also ask the audience to refrain from talking with one another during the presentations and discussions. Today, the Planning and Zoning Commission will hear public testimony and then forward a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors. Everyone attending the meeting is asked to remember that the administrative building and campus are tobacco-free areas, which means no smoking is allowed from curb to curb. No food or drinks are allowed in the auditorium except for bottled water. If there are any items remaining on the agenda, the Commission will break for lunch for 1 hour per the Chairman's discretion.
The items with the recommendation made by the Commission will be heard by the Board of Supervisors on Monday, January 5th at 9:30 a.m. in this same location, with the exception of any continued items. I'd like to approve the minutes of the November 12th, 2025 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
First and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. I have a feeling that we are going to be very efficient and respectful, so we don't need to break at 12 p.m., but in the event that this does carry on a little bit too far, the Commission will be breaking for a training seminar session from 12 to 1 and then continuing after 1. Item number 1, Joseph.
Agenda item number 1 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 405-48011 from an RE10A residential recreation 10-acre minimum lot size zone to a RE4A residential recreation 4-acre minimum lot size zone for a minor land division in the Moccasin vicinity. Staff finds the application proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing. Is the applicant present? Do you wish to speak at this time? Or just available for questions? Applicant is not present. Any questions by commission for staff? Hearing none, I'd like to close the public hearing and entertain a motion on item 1.
I move that we approve item 1 for staff recommendations.
Okay, there's a first.
Second.
First and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 2, Vicky.
Agenda item 2 is an evaluation of a request for a preliminary plat and petition of exceptions for the Hills at Celio Los Lagos, tract 4244, a proposed subdivision of assessors parcel number 225-71395A and 225-71395B in the Fort Mojave vicinity. Staff finds the preliminary plat and petition of exceptions proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing, the applicant is present and available for questions. Thank you. Does the commission have any questions for the applicant?
Yes.
Yes? Would you come on down? Thank you. Name and address for the record, please.
Mac Hall, 321 Lake Havasu Avenue Boulevard South.
Thank you. Appreciate you acknowledging me. So I've got a couple of questions on this one. I see that the streets are roughly the same width as the private streets adjacent in the adjacent property, but it's a lot less density. So how this density? Do you first of all, what are the densities? What is the density on this?
It's
Project.
roughly 68 units. It's about 4 to 5 per acre.
Okay, so that concerns me on townhomes attached specifically. I mean, this is going to be a lower, attainable housing more than the other development. Most of these people are probably workforce people with bigger equipment. For particularly, an F-250 truck is 25 feet long. We're talking about a 25-foot setback to the garage. If you don't have sidewalks, those trucks are going to be in the road. That concerns me a lot. The other thing that concerns me is parking. Where do people park? They're going to be parking on this road. I see that in the neighboring community, the HOA pretty much holds them to a fair standard of not parking on the streets. But when you're at this density, I don't think that's even possible. So help me understand how that's going to work out.
For one, there will be no parking on the street. That's per the fire code requirement, the fire marshal. These townhouses are now, they're a duplex kind of product. So they're just attached by two. Most of them will have an RV garage with them. So a lot of the parking will be, in the garage themselves. And there also will be, looking at planning on putting additional parking spaces in the 1 or 2 open spots that exist on that north-south street. Allow for any overflow parking that will be in there. There's a triangle piece, which parcel number it is. That's where the overflow parking will go.
Well, that gives me some confidence in moving this forward. I am with this kind of density. It feels like sidewalks should be included. I have no problem accepting street lights. So those are my comments.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments for the applicant or staff from the commission?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead, sir.
So this is designed more or less for this person to have one car?
No, it's designed for a family, and if most people either park in the garage, and that's where the RV garage will come from.
So the people that move here usually have off-roads, motorcycles, boats, etc., any place to park those?
No, with a 60-foot deep garage, you should be able to put your toys in there.
There's no area other than that?
No for off-road parking, but there will be an overflow parking lot provided.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Thank you. I'm going to close the public hearing and entertain a motion on item 2.
Make a motion on item 2 to approve per staff
We have a
recommendations.
first,
I'll make a second.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
1. Item carries. Item 3, Melanie.
Item 3 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 30602-002 from an A general zone to a CMO commercial manufacturing open lot storage zone to allow for open lot storage. This is in the Golden Valley vicinity. This property is currently under violation for open lot storage with our code enforcement division. We have received 1 letter of opposition. Staff does find that the application is proper for consideration with the standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing, is the applicant present? Do you wish to explain violations at this time? Or answer any questions?
When we purchased it, it was,
Good morning. Name and address for the record, please, sir. Thank
Mike
you.
Shockman, 1624 East Aztec Road, Fort
Thank
Harley. When I purchased the property, it was zoned A and agriculture. And then we were going to use it for a storage yard, and they told us that that's when we got a notice saying that we could only use a partition of that for storage out of a 2-acre lot. And so we're down here to rezone to use it as open storage.
Gotcha. So staff, is it safe to say this is just happening to bring him into compliance?
Chairman Hassett, yes, that is correct. This will be the first step. Part of the site plan conditions with the open lot storage is view obscuring fencing.
Understood. Thank you very much. Is there any other questions by commissioners for the applicant? If not, I'd like to entertain a motion on item 3.
Make a motion to approve
I'll second.
per standard.
Okay, we got a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. Item carries. Item 4, Melanie.
Item 4 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 306-01034 from an AR 36A agricultural residential 36-acre minimum lot size zone to a CRE commercial recreation zone to allow for a recreational event space in the Golden Valley vicinity. Staff does find that the application is proper for consideration with the standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing, is the applicant present? Do you wish to speak at this time or just available for questions? Thank you very much. Does the commission have any questions for the applicant or staff regarding this item?
I do.
Come on down.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Gary Tappy. The address there is not an address yet. I haven't applied for a septic.
We just need whatever your address is, please.
1598 South Granville Road.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Go
ahead, sir.
What kind of events you going to have here?
They're off-road racing events, drag races with side-by-sides, motorcycles, and ATVs.
Are you doing that right now out there?
We have put on events, yes, under 100 people.
Good, thank you.
Any other you had a question?
That was my question as well, is what type of events? There's been no noise complaint issues or anything from surrounding?
Not that I'm aware of, no, sir.
Very exciting.
Oh, it is.
Yes, thank you. These events are typically, this is an off-road event, off-road vehicles, motorcycles, ATVs, etc. How far away is EMS? These are dangerous events.
I have an EMS on site for my insurance for every event.
Very good. How do you maintain dust?
Right now, the events have been lucky enough to have been after it rained all day. But I have watering, sprinklers, taking my own water out there right now.
So you don't have a well on the site particularly. It's
Not at this
just
time, no,
hot
sir.
water. So then, what about sanitary facilities? How does that manage?
Right now, we're doing porta potties.
And the last thing that I have is I'm frankly surprised that you don't have a lot of petitions against this because of traffic and dust and noise. So tell me why. What is I mean, what, is this just far enough out that people don't mind it?
Correct. There's very few neighbors. The ones that I have spoken with are for it. I have signed petitions I'll be putting in at the next meeting for people that are for it with hundreds of signatures. And like I said, I am doing dust control. And the nearest house, I believe, is, 2 blocks away, and they're all for it. They're not doing it after hours, not doing it in the middle of the night. No, so I believe there's no complaint.
Okay, thank you.
I think just to support it, OHV is moving into our region in droves from Southern California, and to be able to mitigate and manage this, there is no OHV course or track or entertainment opportunities that are legal in this capacity in our region. So I think it's a great addition to our community.
Appreciate that.
Any other questions or comments from commissioners for staff or applicant regarding this item? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm going to close the public hearing and entertain a motion on item 4.
Move approval.
Second.
First, second, Helms? Oh, okay, second. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Item 5, Cassidy.
Agenda item 5 is an evaluation of a request for an amendment to the Mojave County General Plan from a low-density residential land use designation to a general commercial land use designation and a rezone of assessor's parcel number 306-31004K from an AR-10A agricultural residential 10-acre minimum lot size zone to a C2H highway commercial zone to allow for commercial development in the Golden Valley vicinity. Staff finds the application proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing, the applicant is on Teams and available for questions. Does the commission have any questions for the applicant or staff regarding this item?
Yes, I do have.
Okay, go ahead.
So, my question on this is, is access. This appears to be adjacent to an existing bridge, so there won't be access off of Highway 68. So, is there adequate access, and does it make sense to access this from a dirt road?
Yes, I mean, the easiest access point's the one right next to the swap meet right there, so just right prior to it. And right now, my main plan is just to get the special permitting for the billboard use, and then the remainder of it's conceptual as far as what's going to be done with the property. So there's not going to be much access or traffic or anybody going back and forth the property for a foreseen future.
You said billboard use? Is your long-term intent to put up a billboard? Or
Correct.
Next step? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from the commission? All right, hearing none, I'd like to close the public hearing and entertain a motion on item 5.
Motion to approve for staff.
We have a first.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Item 6, Cassidy.
Item 6 is an evaluation of a request for a special use permit for assessor's parcel number 306-31004K to allow for a billboard in a C28 highway commercial zone in the Golden Valley vicinity. Staff finds the application proper for consideration with standard condition.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing. Is the applicant present? Do you wish to speak at this time? No applicant. Okay. Commission have any questions for staff?
I actually do have a question. This is the same parcel we just read?
Yes, the applicant is Teams.
The applicant should be the same.
Yeah.
It's for the billboard.
I'll move this slip
Yes.
here. He is on Teams and available for questions.
So the question that I have is, what style of billboard? Is this going to be a digital billboard for the last 4 that have gone through this area?
No, just a static billboard at this point.
Static billboard?
Correct.
That's it. That's the only question I have.
No other questions or comments from commission for staff or applicant? If none, I'd like to close the public hearing and entertain a motion on item 6.
Second.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Item carries. Item 7, Joseph.
Item number 7 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessors parcel number 306-18101C from an AR2A agricultural residential 2-acre minimum lot size zone to an AR agricultural residential zone to allow for a minor land division in the Golden Valley vicinity. Staff finds the application proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing. Is the applicant present? Do you wish to speak at this time? Thank you very much. Does the commission have any questions for the applicant regarding this item? Hearing none, I'd like to close the public hearing and entertain a motion on item 7.
Make a motion to approve?
We have a first
Second.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Thank you. Item 8, Vicky.
Agenda item 8 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 306-24061C from an AR4A agricultural residential 4-acre minimum lot size zone to an AR agricultural residential zone to allow for a minor land division in the Golden Valley vicinity. We have received 1 letter of opposition. Staff finds the application proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing. Is the applicant present? Available for questions? Does the commission have any questions for the applicant regarding this item?
Just a quick question.
Come on down, sir. Fire away. He'll have his...
There was a letter of opposition. I didn't see that in the packet. But that's not for the applicant. That was just or there was none. My question for the, question for the applicant is, I mean, I think it's obvious, but there was no map or depiction on how you plan to split this. So how do you plan to split this?
My name is Charles Terrian, 3756 North Egar. Get that out of the way.
Thank you.
I just want to do 1-acre parcels.
So north-south line, facing narrow, deep lots?
Calculate. No, yeah.
Similar to the ones just to
Right,
the
yeah, the
just
ones
to the
that right
west.
next door, yeah.
That's really my only question, just because I didn't have any depiction.
You want that letter?
The letter of opposition?
Yeah.
Not particularly.
Thank you very much. Hearing no other questions, I'd like to close the public hearing and entertain a motion on item 8.
Make a motion to approve per standard conditions.
Okay. First and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Item carries. Item 9, Cassidy.
Agenda item 9 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 306-24056B from an AR4A agricultural residential 4-acre minimum lot size zone to a CRE commercial recreation zone to allow for an RV park in the Golden Valley vicinity. Staff finds the application proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing. Is the applicant present? Do you wish to speak at this time? Not present and not on Teams. Is there any questions for staff from the commission regarding this item?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, my questions for the applicant is, how many units do you plan? Why is this RV park a legitimate RV park 2 miles on a dirt road? And again, sanitary facilities, traffic. I'm a little surprised again that we don't have several comments saying that they that are not interested in this, because of where it's located. So I'm a little surprised that we didn't get more letters of opposition.
I'd like to know, how's it set up? What is he going to set up here? There's a lot of facilities that we don't know about.
Well, before we go down
water, you got water, electricity, septic, you got all kinds of things.
Right. Unfortunately, the applicant's not present and not on Teams, so before we go down a rabbit hole of questions, if someone's wanting to make a motion to continue this to January and encourage the applicant to be present, we can do that.
I'll make a motion to January. I'll second that.
Closing the public hearing. If anyone would like to entertain a motion on item 9, we have a first to continue to January and a second.
Sure.
Yes.
Right, if I just may,
Absolutely.
you can continue it as, that's fine. I just wanted to answer the question about the facilities. Our zoning ordinance has very strict requirements They do have to have the wastewater treatment facility. They do have to have water to each site. They do have to have power to each site. Depending on the amount of vehicles or RVs that will be in this RV park, they would have to do a traffic impact analysis to determine the conditions of the road if they need to be improved. So the site plan, this would be for the use. The site plan does regulate and mandate all of those services. And if they can't complete them, then they can't have their RV.
Thank you. With that being said, you want to continue that to January, or are you good with those? Yes? Okay, so there's a motion on the table. We have a first and a second. All in favor to continue to the January meeting?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Motion is, item is continued to January. I am going to skip item 10 at the moment and move on to item 11. So the applicants do not need to sit through what may be a long item. So item 11, Melanie.
Item 11 is evaluation of a request for rescission of BOS Resolution 2006-141 and cause assessor's parcel number 227-21-065 to be reverted from a CM commercial manufacturing zone to a C2 general commercial zone, having not met the conditions of approval in the Fort Mojave vicinity. This is bookkeeping. It is related to the next agenda item, item 12. Staff does recommend that the resolution be rescinded and the zoning be reverted to the previous C2 general commercial zone.
Thank you very much. Open the public hearing. Questions or comments from commission? County. Closing the public hearing, I'd like to entertain a motion on item 11.
Make a moat.
First, and it sounds like a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion rescinded. Item 12, Melanie.
Item 12 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 227-21065 from a C2 general commercial zone to a CMO commercial manufacturing open lot storage zone to allow for an auto repair shop in the Fort Mojave vicinity. Staff does find that the application is proper for consideration with the standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing. The applicant is present and available for questions. Does the commission have any questions for the applicant regarding this item? If not, I'd like to close the public hearing and entertain a motion on item 12.
Make a motion to approve her staff recommendations.
We have a first.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Item 13, Joseph.
Item number 13 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessors parcel numbers 330-28206A, 206B, and 206C from a ROA 1A, single-family residential, manufactured homes prohibited, limited animal privileges, 1 acre minimum lot size zone to an AR agricultural residential zone to allow for an RV as a temporary residence in the Sohai vicinity. Staff finds the application proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing. Is the applicant present? Do you wish to speak at this time, or just available for questions? Okay. Does the commission have any questions for the applicant or staff regarding item 13? Hearing none, I'd like to close the public hearing and entertain a motion on item 13.
Make a motion to approve per staff recommendation.
First.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Item 14, Cassidy.
Agenda item 14 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 208-05066A from an A general zone to an R1 single-family residential zone to bring the property into compliance in the Yucca vicinity. Staff finds application proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing. The applicant is present and on Teams available for questions. Does the commission have any questions for the applicant on this item? No questions for... Thank you. No questions for staff regarding this item? No. And I'm going to close the public hearing and entertain a motion on item 14.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a first.
Second.
Okay. I heard Kirkham first. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Item 15, Melanie.
Item 15 is an evaluation of a request for an amendment to the Mojave County General Plan from a suburban development land use designation to a general commercial land use designation and a rezone of assessor's parcel number 225-25086 from an AR agricultural residential zone to a CMO commercial manufacturing open lot storage zone to allow for open lot storage in the Mojave Valley vicinity. Staff does find that the application is proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing, is the applicant present? Do you wish to speak at this time? Available for questions? Thank you. Does the commission have any questions for the applicant or staff regarding item 15?
I do have a couple of questions.
Come on up. You know the drill.
Jordan Floyd, 9057 Sageway, Mojave Valley.
Thank you. So this is just for open lot storage or?
Yeah, so the intent is to, potentially or eventually separate the property into 1 acre lots and then put buildings on them, have like a lay down lot for companies to be able to park some equipment and have a covered shop area.
So this other question is for staff, and it feels like this is spot zoning. Help me understand why this isn't spot zoning. I don't see any other commercial anywhere near this.
And then a follow-up question. Will the zoning change that he's requesting today allow him to do what he wants to do in the future, or is he going to have to come back here? I just want to make sure he's set up for success so there's not, if there's a future intent here.
Sure. Chairman Hassett, your question first. Site plans would be required as far as any of the further development of the property for commercial use. The CMO zoning with the open lot storage does of course come with the view obscuring fencing requirement for any portion that will have the open lot storage. Commissioner Bradshaw, this is an area down in Mojave Valley where we're seeing a lot of mix. There's some agricultural use, and I apologize, I am trying to get the rest of my maps up. I believe this is also the area where we have some of the recent rezones for
To industrial.
yes. that
Yes,
is
correct. So
They may interrupt. 2,400 feet away is heavy industrial. To the east is tribal, to the south is tribal, to the north is farming. So, for the most part, it's kind of landlocked.
Okay. Now that you mention that, I see that the location and
on that same street down, you have
the gravel pit.
Well, we just did the industrial for the gravel pit not too long ago. Then we did another one for another gravel pit. And then down that same exact road is the Freeman Industrial, whatever that complex is called. So
in that context, it does make sense. So I appreciate those clarifications.
Any other questions or comments from commission for the applicant? Thank you. Hearing none, I'd like to close the public hearing and entertain a motion on item 15.
Motion to approve first.
We have a first. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Item 16, Vicky.
Agenda item 16 is an evaluation of a request for a special use permit for assessor's parcel number 327-02-508 to allow for a wireless telecommunication facility with one 190-foot tower in an AR agricultural residential zone in the Dolan Springs vicinity. Staff finds the application proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing. Is the applicant present? Do you wish to speak at this time or available for questions? Thank you very much. I have a question for staff. You're putting a 195-foot tower in the middle of what looks to be homes? Or they're requesting to do so. You're not doing anything.
This is for an increase in cellular services in the region?
I'm assuming so.
Because this matches what we did 2 months ago or a month ago, right?
Chairman Hassett, yeah. So this is the request from the applicant is to put this tower for really the greater area.
Good morning.
Morning.
I just wanted, have since decreased it to 105 foot tower.
Oh, well, in that case, name and address for the record, please, if you don't mind. Do you have anything, can you do name and address for the record? And I don't know if there's any other questions.
Yeah, it's in the, it's at 21st Street and Terrace Drive, in Mohawk.
And you're Janet?
I am Robin Walters with State 48 Consulting.
Got it. Okay. Are there any other questions for the applicant from commission regarding this item?
No, my question was the 190-foot tower, 95 feet. That would seem excessively tall for the area.
Yeah, and as another commissioner said, this is basically just to provide cellular service and coverage in your vicinity, right?
Correct, to expand coverage and better coverage in that area.
Okay.
Any letters of
I have not received any.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay,
I'm going to close the public hearing and entertain a motion on item 16.
Make a motion to approve?
We have a first. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope, item carries. Item 17, Joseph.
Item number 17 is an evaluation of a request for an amendment to the Mojave County General Plan from a suburban development area land use designation to a general commercial land use designation and rezone of assessor's parcel number 254-31010E from an AR-10A agricultural residential 10-acre minimum lot size zone to a CMO commercial manufacturing open lot storage zone to allow for open lot storage in the Kingman vicinity. Staff finds the application proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing, the applicant is present, available for questions. Does the commission have any questions for the applicant regarding this item? Hearing none, I'd like to close the public hearing and entertain a motion on item 17.
Make a motion to approve per standard conditions.
We have a first. Second, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Item 18, Melanie.
Item 18 is evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 333-43078 from an AR 36A agricultural residential 36-acre minimum lot size zone to an AR 20A agricultural residential 20-acre minimum lot size zone, bring the property into compliance in the Valley Vista vicinity. Staff does find that the application is proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing, is the applicant present? Do you wish to speak at this time? No one is present. Does the commission have any questions for staff, considering this is just to bring the property into compliance? Hearing none, I'd like to close the public hearing and entertain a motion on item 18.
I'll move to approve. I'll move approval.
We have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Item carries. Item 19, to approve the Planning and Zoning Commission submittal deadline calendar for 2026. You didn't need to talk on that, clearly, because there wasn't a list of someone who needs to talk. So I'd like to entertain a motion on item 19.
It's good to me. I'll move approval.
Okay, we have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Item carries. Item 20's got less signed up than 10. So, but considering there are people signed up, I'm going to go back to item 10 for that applicant. So, item 10, Vicki.
Agenda item 10 is an evaluation of a request for an amendment to the Mojave County General Plan from neighborhood commercial land use designation to a general commercial land use designation and a rezone of assessor's parcel number 208-04070 from an A general zone to C2H highway commercial zone to allow for commercial development in the Yucca vicinity. This item was brought before the Planning and Zoning Commission at the October 10th, 2025 meeting and received a recommendation of approval. However, due to publishing error, this item was required to be brought before the Planning and Zoning Commission again prior to the Board of Supervisors meeting. We had multiple letters of opposition with one letter of support. Staff finds the application proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing, the applicant is on Teams, available for questions, and would like to speak. But before that, I would like to ask the following individuals to come sit down at the front. Mike Doyle, Jamino Smothers, I hope I pronounced that correctly, Doug France, and Carol Langamo. You could all just grab a seat right there. That way, when your name is called, you can come right up to the podium. Go ahead, Mr. Winter.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
My name is Jeff Winter. I'm with Essentia Architecture. I'm the architect on the project. And we would like to bring back this project to the board for evaluation and approval again, based on the advertisement errors. I do understand that there has been some concerns about the project, and I'd like to address some of those issues. The first and foremost is the neighboring restaurant that is not part of this project. It is a separate parcel and a separate owner, and our owner does not have any association with that. We understand that is a older building that the restaurant moved into and took over and did no site improvements for that project. It seems to be very popular. They have no controls over parking or anything else. Our proposed project is 24 acres of controlled parking for trucks, the trucks that come. We do have designated entry and exits that are properly spaced along the frontage road for entry and exit safety. That would be based on the county traffic engineer and their evaluation of that. We have staff on hand for trash pickup, parking control, any kind of issues that are there. We do have staff on staff. We do have trash to be picked up, trash cans, etc., for us to control that situation. In regards to the traffic on the frontage road, again, we have designated entry and exit points that are established to control trucks separate from cars, as well as we'll look for the county engineer, traffic engineer, on his recommendations for proper improvements or locations of those entry and exits. Other than that, I'm here for any questions or comments.
I appreciate that. One of the things I believe was a point of contention and conversation on this was where they're going to be pulling in and out. Based on the property, do you have that? Do you have a preliminary site plan or a layout or anything that we could see?
Yes, does staff have that? That should have been submitted with that package.
Let me verify that now, but there's a lot of stuff that's in here. I don't happen to see anything, but I didn't see that purple indicated on the.
I can certainly pull it up here.
If you're able to pull it up and share screen, that would be great. Vicki, do you know if that was something that was given? Got it. Okay. Well, it's not in the backup, so if you're able to pull up and share the screen, I would appreciate that.
Yeah, that's just should have had this ready. Apologize for that.
Nope, you're good. Why don't you go ahead and mute, and while you're doing that, while you're getting that set up, I'm going to invite Mr. Doyle to speak first, and if you wouldn't mind writing down any points that these individuals bring up so you could address that when it's your turn to speak again. Mr. Doyle, name and address for the record, please.
Mike Doyle, 16967 South Sundance Kid Road, Yucca, Arizona. One of the primary concerns I have is with public safety. First of all, trucks pulling off the side roads of the interstate going across the bridge at exit 25. Need both sides of that bridge to pull away from those stop signs. It's happened to me at least 2 times where I was coming from the post office and a truck pulled out, crossing both sides of the road, stopping and waiting for me to back up so he could continue. Secondly, there's no provisions in the Yucca area for medical assistance or emergencies if needed. And with the increase of traffic with trucks and commercial use of those side roads, that is going to become a big serious issue.
Thank you very much. Jamino Smothers.
I live in Yucca.
Your address, please.
12891 South Nash Road, and I am not in favor of the new truck stop. I drive past Don's place every day, the septic place, on my way to work, and I can say that what he just said about the trucks is totally accurate. Like, they need both sides of the road. One day I was coming home from work, and the truck, like, he's still on the wrong side of the road, and he's not correcting. Like, they pull out, and they're just, and whatever. And it's the same thing with the other truck stops too. Like, we already have problems with the congestion right there. These are small town people coming out onto these small little roads with all these big trucks just not caring about what's going on. They throw their trash out the window, and they may have services to pick up trash, but how far down the road? Onto the exit? So, I have a few things I could say about that, but it just really doesn't feel safe inviting more trucks onto our road. That's probably all I'm going to say for now. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Carol?
I've done this before, so I'm kind of nervous. My name's Carol Langemo, and my address is 4305 West Roosevelt, Yucca. And here's what I have to say. Our small town is not set up or ready for this much traffic. Our infrastructure cannot handle it. The overpasses are showing wear and tear, and not to mention the potholes and damage the big rigs have done to us many times. They fix them, they're out. Within a week, it's back out. The trash, the rats, and excuse my language, the pee bottles. And don't forget the rude truckers. They're just everywhere. They're just awful. I had one of them peel through a stop sign. I mean, he didn't even slow down. So I went like that. And he said, he got out of his truck and came to my car. I thought I was going to die. And he said, what is your problem? And I said, did you not see the stop sign? He said, you stupid effing Americans don't understand anything. And I was in shock. I was beside myself. I thought, you people, you don't follow our laws. They don't listen. They don't do the stop signs. They don't do the speed limits. They're a major problem. We have nil to none on the state police, the sheriffs, any kind of law enforcement. We have nothing. And they know it. And they don't go the speed limit. They go 90 miles an hour. You have to go 95 to pass them on the interstate. That's how bad it is. You guys don't understand. You don't live there. You don't understand how awful these people are, and then we have to. The restaurant is awful. They are so disgusting and dirty and nasty. And how many semis can be in one restaurant? Isn't there a health issue? I mean, something has to be known that we need you guys to understand that we live here. This is where we wanted to spend our remaining years. But if this keeps up, we're not going to stay. We're going to get the heck out of here.
Thank you very much.
I'm not done.
Mr. Winters, is Doug France here? Oh, okay. I was looking there. You guys can go back to your
where
seats.
does this, document here.
Thank you.
Can you see it okay? Alamo, got a position. Don't start my clock yet.
Sorry.
Start it over. Okay, real quick. Doug Franz, P.O. Box 313, Yucca, Arizona. What I want to say here is a fictional story about a little town called Charlie Brown Town. It's located 40 miles down the highway, established in 1883, and train tracks run by it, a highway runs by it, and nothing's really happened over the years there. It's still its own little town. But things are happening. Charlie Brown wants to bring his Gasorama to Charlie Brown Town. You hear this big section here. A lot of frontage on that bypass road there, on the frontage road. You have the Pigpen's Eateria right here next to Charlie Brown's gas station. You have a place called Rapid Fuel that owns this one. You have the Linus's Pride up here, and you have the Great Pumpkin up here. What's the Great Pumpkin? Well, Alamo intersection right here is a five-way intersection. You're going to want to bring in another 300 car trips into that gas station. Charlie Brown, good job. He's making a good business. But the Great Pumpkin lives up on the hill. That's the Antler Mine. The Antler Mine is in the permitting process, expected to be permitted in 2026, operational in 2027. You are going to have a 20-year mine up on that hill that processes 52,000 tons of slurry or the refined goods down that frontage road. It's got to come off the hill. You need to take that frontage road, you need to zone it all the same. You need to put in sidewalk all the way, ADA sidewalks, all the way from the bridge to nowhere. Down here's a bridge they put over the road because there's no access for people to get over the two passes because they're too narrow. Just like they said, it needs 2 lanes to turn out on all these trucks. It tipped over a truck the other day on the frontage road trying to get out of the food place, Pigpen's Eateria, and it flipped over in the thing. What I'm saying is, you've got a frontage road here that's going to take $1 billion worth of copper down it, and you better get something out of the deal for the people in Yucca.
Thank you very much. I love the enthusiasm. That was a good story. Question for, can we put the applicant back up and allow him to share screen to see if he has that layout? And then a question for staff, is it county roads or is it ADOT who's responsible for frontage and the on-off ramps that are in reference to a lot of these people's concerns?
Chairman Hesse, I believe this is ADOT's right-of-way for that frontage road, so they would need approval from ADOT to grant that access on and off their property.
Okay, so similar to when someone buys highway property, if they're doing a turn-in, turn-out lane or something, they're going to ADOT, assuming ADOT's in charge of the highway. And then on-off ramps are, again, going to be ADOT. It has nothing to do with county.
Chairman Hesse, that's correct. So part of this, they'll have to do a site plan. ADOT will need to approve. Well, you sent that site plan. They'll be one of the departments or agencies that need to sign off on that site plan. They'll take a look at that traffic study and determine any off-site improvements that would be required as part of this new development.
Thank you. Was the applicant able to find their layout?
Yes, sir. I'm sharing my screen. Are you able to see that site plan?
No.
Let me try it again. I'll stop sharing and share it again here.
I don't know if tech needs to enable him to allow for a share screen. There we go. Perfect. Thank you.
There we go.
So, am I open for comment?
Yep.
Or?
No,
Okay.
first I'd like you to use your cursor and go over this so that everyone can get a better understanding of the egress and ingress off of your property.
So, this is Interstate 10.
40.
Running
You're close.
north-south. I'm sorry?
It's 40, but go ahead.
I'm sorry, Interstate 40. And then the proving grounds is up and over in this area here. This is the 24 acres, and this parcel right in here is the actual restaurant that they are speaking of.
Okay.
Our property goes around that restaurant and extends down here. It does not connect into Cal-Al Drive. So our entry points would be this, which would be an isolated point for a smaller fast food type of offering. Then you would continue down the frontage road here, past the restaurant. And what we've done here is established entry points for trucks in which they are isolated, controlled, go to the back of the property, and then they would exit on their own exit path. Inside that loop, there is a convenience store and automobile traffic that we can try to help separate those two vehicles. And then there is possibly a third service area that would have its own entry.
So
I believe the pedestrian bridge is up in this further down off screen.
So since this item has come before us, as I said earlier, the main points of contention were traffic and safety. And I'm no engineer or architect, but you have 2 entry and exit points, north and south, both on a curve, north of the restaurant and south of the restaurant, on a curve on the frontage road that has been a point of concern from a lot of people. So help me to understand the thought process, especially the one that's egress and ingress right on the curve to your smaller fast food venue that you're looking at putting up. Do you think that that is of the most intelligent way to design entry and exit?
Well, it is our belief that if we have one single entry point at that spot, then we can control the entry. That's going to be smaller vehicles and roadway traffic. We are not anticipating large trucks at that point. There is a natural wash that divides the property, and so that we're assuming we're going to be limited of crossing over that natural wash, and so this would become a type of standalone project. The curve is fairly shallow or broad, and that gives you enough visibility for that action driveway right at that point.
Okay.
Then we get past the restaurant, then we get into trying to separate the vehicles from cars, trucks to large semis.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from?
Yeah, I do.
Absolutely. Commissioner Martin?
Okay, well, that design is all nice and pretty, but it doesn't change the fact that you have to take the off-ramp and backtrack on that tiny little 2-lane frontage road to get to that location. If other commissioners haven't driven that road, it, for even what is there now, it's not sufficient.
Well,
Chair?
So, yes.
I don't see any, well, they took the picture off, but it's an awful small road, and it shows the trucks are going to have to be stopped before they can make a right or left-hand turn anywhere. There's no ease of getting on and off. There's the separating of traffic. I don't see any it's going to be a bottleneck.
Mr.
So, hold on, ladies and gentlemen, let's remember, we talked earlier about polite and courteous and things like that. Conversation is not allowed from the audience. So we had our time to speak, and now let's let everyone talk. And I know you're enthusiastic and emotional about this, but clearly you have a lot of support up here. Vice Chair Gillette.
I was told that if you go to that location at 7 o'clock in the morning, that it's wall-to-wall trucks. But I couldn't go at 7, but on my way here to this meeting, I did go. And even at 9 o'clock, it was just trucks everywhere. And that is before you put up this restaurant and all this stuff that you've got here. I think it looks like a really nice idea, but it is not practical at all. Before you even have this, you have a problem with the trucks. I wound up trying to get back on 40, and I had a truck in front of me, a truck behind me, and I'm lost. I have no idea where I'm going. And I had to go like a long ways to get back on 40. This is, like I say, it's a nice idea, but it is not practical at all.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
If I could just circle back to the traffic control question, just inform the commission, like Manager Gunderson stated before, this does go to ADOT. ADOT, we will not approve the site plan without their approval. A lot of times in these instances, ADOT will require decel lanes or improvements to the overpass in order to accommodate the trip usage that will be generated from this use. So just as a standpoint for staff, we would not approve the site plan unless ADOT is okay with the traffic control that will be on site.
So let me ask you a question, like a playing devil's advocate. If ADOT if this gets approved, because again, we're here just to do the zoning portion of it. So if this gets approved and ADOT gets a hold of it and they say, yeah, we're good. Is there any kind of fail-safe that the county can put in and say, well, ADOT did a green light with 0 improvements, 0 infrastructure repairs, 0 additions, or whatever you just said about the, what'd you say, decel lanes? If they just gave it a green light as is, where is there anything that the county can put in and say, although ADOT is comfortable with it, we are not, so this is not going forward?
Mr. Chair, that would be at this moment. So if you guys wanted to place any condition on the site plan or on the approval of the rezone, then you would be able to do that at this time.
Okay.
And I got a couple of comments.
Yes, sir.
That's okay. If we don't do this, those trucks are still going to be at that restaurant, so that don't solve anything. In my former life, I was a traffic commissioner. ADOT will not approve this with the road the way it is. They have to double the size of that road, and they will. They're going to do a traffic study. They're going to see how many trucks are going to go in and out of there. I'd rather have the trucks parked on a property like this where it's controlled. These guys are in those trucks, excuse me, 24 hours a day. They got to get off the road. What's happening is in Kingman here, they're doing an interchange, and they're doing a Route 11 bypass. All the truck stops here in Kingman are not going to have any business because all the roads are going to be bypassing them. So what they have to do is they have to move these truck stops somewhere. Vacant land, that's what they're looking for. And I'd rather have the trucks on this property where they're going to be picking up the trash. They're going to give them a place to rest. They're going to give them places to take showers, eat, and park their truck in the back where you're probably not even going to hardly see them so they can rest for their 8 hours that they have to be off the road. This project here is not going to move anywhere, even if we approve it, without ADOT coming in and evaluating that road, and they will do some changes to the road so that it is safe. The one parking lot where the little store is, that's going to be mostly cars. The truck is not going to make that turn. He's not going to be able to. It'll only be for cars and maybe some pickup trucks and stuff. The real entrance is down the road a little bit, and they will provide enough turning radius for these trucks to get in there comfortably and get out comfortably. These traffic or the truck stops are a necessity. Everything that we buy in the stores and everything, at one time or another, was on a truck. They have to have these things so they can get the rest they need and not pull off the side of the road where it's dangerous or at that restaurant. This here will be better for you guys in the long run. And ADOT will fix the problems that you got concerns. Okay?
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from commissioners? Yes.
I had just a question of the existing restaurant. When we pull up his plan, are you where is the driveway into that existing restaurant, or is it just so you just pull off into it?
Dirt lot. Looks like it's just a dirt lot.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, currently it's a wide open, probably 200, 300 feet of dirt that they enter and exit off of.
For me, I'm normally, property owner has rights. They're entitled to develop their property, but I'm seeing 6 or 7 on-off points in this short little area, which to me looks just like the Travel Stop America right here at 40. That is like, I'll do anything in the world to avoid driving on, even though ADOT probably approved that as well. I just think it's too many ins and outs in this very congested area.
Okay. Yes.
Yep, thank you. So I do have a couple of comments and questions. So my first question is on the site improvements to the applicant. Do you have a phased improvement plan? How do you plan on bringing this online if it were approved?
We don't have a phased plan at this point. This is preliminary site plan in the general layout of where we are like to head. But I would assume that the C-store would go first and then the others would follow along.
I think you've heard a lot of pushback, and I don't know if you saw all of the entirety of the opposition to this. It's dramatic, to say the least. What do you have to offer the community as a betterment?
Well, we can address the traffic issues with ADOT, and we can improve that roadway. We have 24 acres here for 6 entry points, which, although we think is appropriate, our traffic engineer and ADOT will also be evaluating whether that's appropriate as well. This is an independent operator for this property. They have the ability to offer, such as like a substation for the sheriff. So they have a place to come in and have a small office to write reports, or at least be present. That's the type of thing that an independent operator will provide you, as opposed to a Love or a major player that is corporate owned and doesn't have the leeway to do that. I think if we can get, the county could possibly get control of the restaurant. This is a great location for this project. It is between I-40 and the Proving Grounds. There's no homes in the area. It is all commercial, and it's right along Interstate 40. So I think in general, and we feel that the commercial highway zoning is appropriate, and the site plan definitely has, with 24 acres, has enough room to be able to handle the items that we are showing.
So then this is just so one of the questions that came up in opposition was, this being an unincorporated area, and I feel this, how are the taxes handled? Because you have all this purchasing power in this community, and all of it leaves. And so what is there that is offered to the community that, again, from the county's perspective, as far as a tax incentive, to betterment to the community? And if there's nothing, then why would they even care about this? Why would they want this in their community? It seems like there could be a very good, they don't. True. It seems like there could be a very, very beneficial tax incentive for this to be there, if it could be given to the community, or at least subsidize the community. That, again, I don't expect anybody to answer that question. That's a far-reaching question. But I do want to make a couple of other comments. There's many of the opposition says that this is not the right place for a truck stop, and I genuinely disagree, because there's trucks parked there already, and it's inundating your community. Something of a site of this nature has the ability to improve that situation. I'm not saying it improves the truck traffic or anything of that nature, but it improves the truck facility so that it is a better handled and managed package for your community. That doesn't change the fact that there's going to be more trucks there. Absolutely. It does bring betterment to the roadways and intersections. ADOT's going to pay attention when this shows up. They're not going to just let it be status quo. However, if you leave it as is, it will be status quo and it will not change. So consider that. And I don't know that there's a good or a bad situation. It isn't good right now. Does this new improvement help it? Seems like it, but I don't know. Remains to be seen. But certainly leaving it as it is not a benefit to the community. So that's obvious. I do think that the continued improvement and taking this big of a parcel and having this big of a product, does improve ultimately the usage and the benefit to the area. But it's tough. EMS is a concern. I am greatly concerned about that. But again, You already have truck stops there. They're already doing business there. And sadly, it's a rogue business, and it's way more dangerous than if there were facilities that were managed and maintained and built. So I appreciate the concerns, and this is a very difficult conversation because I see the value add, and I also see the passion against it. So I feel the concern.
Thank you very much. So we can what if this all day long. There's benefits to corporate and private practice. We all know that. So my only concern really is that is there a mechanism in place, legally speaking, and from your department that can ensure, regardless of ADOT's decision, that that the traffic will be required to be improved, or there's something that can be regulated on that? And I don't know how accurate this is or what has to go through you guys for this, but Antler Mine, I was looking at it, is 20 miles. I mean, it's right there. He's very accurate. It's 171 surface acres of private land right next to Yucca. So ADOT's not going to get involved in that. I mean, they're going to see an impact on their road. But I guess at the end of the day, the trucks aren't going to stop. The development's not going to stop. The progress isn't going to stop. But what can we do to ensure that if this gets approved today and it moves on to the next step, that ADOT actually does improve something for the community?
Mr. Chair, I'm not a traffic analyst or expert, but we do have one of those with the county, and that's our Director of Public Works, Steve Latowski, and their department. We will send this, if it is approved and they do submit a site plan, we will send it to their division for review. If, like Manager Gunderson mentioned before, it's mostly going to be ADOT that's responding, but if the commission wishes to add an additional condition that our county engineer over Public Works reviews and assures that the traffic is adequate, or the traffic controls are adequate, we can add that condition.
Okay, so let's do this. Mr. Mitchell, what would be the legal statement that needs to be made for a motion to ensure that this can move on to its next portion that it needs to the natural flow of process for this build for the property owner, but also ensure that safety and traffic, et cetera, for the community is what's put first?
I don't know. So essentially, I mean, if I understand your question, right, or the concern you have is that you want to go forward with this, but if ADOT approves and it's not to the standards or concerns that you guys have, how do you withdraw that?
Correct.
And I don't see a way to do that, right? So you either have to trust the ADOT process or you don't.
Or
right?
trust the government. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, right? Trust the government, you don't. But the idea being you can try and put as many conditions as you want now, but at some point, if you kick it up to ADOT and you don't like what their results are or anything in the future, you can't really then pull it. I mean, maybe you could reconsider it, go put it in front of the board to reconsider because there's something you didn't see or the board supervisors didn't see, but there's not really much you could do. I mean, unless the traffic control or staff can be more creative on what conditions you want to impose today, at some point you have to make a decision and you have to trust the process or not, right? But you won't be able to retroactively then change your mind.
No.
I wish I had a better answer, but
I don't. Yeah, I mean that's a pretty decent answer. I just my biggest concern is that development is not going to stop, and I for one am not in favor of stopping a property owner for a project that we also don't know if the project's even going to come to fruition. This is just the step one, if you will, about it. So had someone been interested in making a motion, I was curious what legal terminology needed to be written in or worded in to ensure that the community is left safe. Like, that's great. They're private practice. We're going to have a guy picking up trash. Yeah, until they eliminate that position. Corporate's good, private's good, but we don't know. We can what if it all day long. What's to enforce all these things going forward? And there's really, unfortunately, nothing, I believe, correct?
No. As far as I can see, correct. But if somebody wants to have a motion and they want to kick it and ask if it's legal or not, or if I have any issues. But at this point, I think it's just up for a motion. And
okay, all right. Well, there is no one else signed up.
Yeah, is there any way we can get some of these problems solved before we okay it? Or no?
No.
Can I make a motion?
So yes, in 1 second. There is no one else signed up to speak. Are there any other statements or comments from commissioners for the applicant or applicant for commission?
I think just to reiterate what you said, the trucks are always going to be there if we take, yeah, so if you take no steps in controlling the environment, you're going to continue to have the devastation. So I understand the road concern, but I'm not going to ask what you would rather have because I think I understand that. But I just think that the best movement is development for what's going forward, from my evaluation. Because improvements will come. This area will come.
Comments or additional statements from the applicant for the commission?
I have one more question.
For the applicant?
For the applicant, yes.
Go ahead.
So have you considered putting this at the other two exits, north or south of?
You own the land, though.
Of this?
They own the land?
I don't know. Do you own the land? Is this the property owner's, or are you zoning this to purchase?
Correct. The owner owns the property currently.
Okay, that really truly answers my question, because if you own the property and you're vested in it, it's a way different conversation than if you're doing this as a speculative nature.
Not going to argue that. Questions, comments from the applicant for commission?
No, I'm good here. Thank you.
Okay. Last thing, I want to make one closing statement. If someone does intend to make a motion on this, I would encourage it to say, run it by legal and see how you can get county traffic and, what's his name? I forgot, I'm sorry.
Mike Letowski.
The guy, Letowski, to look this over. So I'm going to close the public hearing and entertain a motion on item 10.
I would like to make a motion I want to phrase this.
He'll fix it.
I would like to make a motion to approve. However, after, and assuming that ADOT approves this, approves the site plan, at a point between that point and when it is finally approved to be built, that a professional traffic operations engineer that works for Mojave County evaluate the proposed recommendations or proposed requirements that ADOT will be making for infrastructure improvements in the area to not only I-40 and overpasses and the frontage road, but either agree with them or offer better alternatives that ADOT would agree to prior to project completion.
Okay, hold on, don't anyone second, because I have a technical question. Can we require the applicant to have a third-party private traffic engineering study done and provided to the county? Because no engineer is going to gold stamp this, so it's not like they can bribe the guy to approve it. It's his license that's on the line, should they so say that it's a safe, et cetera, et cetera. Can we require that to be done and provided to the county?
There's a professional traffic operations engineer that works for Mojave County.
Chairman Hassett, so you could require that a traffic engineer provide a traffic impact analysis with the review of the site plan. So site plan is already going to require some type of traffic review, but you could increase that to require that traffic study is done by a traffic engineer and submitted, and then that site plan with that traffic study will then be sent to both ADOT and Mojave County Public Works for their review, comment, and approval.
Yeah, I'm trying to shrink the county's engineer's time from 12 hours to 1.5. Let the other guy do the work on their dime.
That's what's going to happen.
That's what I'm trying to ask if we can do.
Chairman Hassett, yes, I believe you could do that, and just to clarify, that is more than likely going to be the requirement anyway, but if you make that as a motion with the resolution, it would require it regardless of ADOT or Public Works' other requirements and threshold.
I'd be happy to amend my motion to.
Mr. Winters, are you good with that? You're going to provide a third-party survey report?
Yes, we are. I mean, any kind of submittal will have to ADOT will have to accompany with a traffic study.
No, yeah, I want to make sure that you're okay with an expanded analysis should our county traffic engineer ask for it.
Yes, I guess I've expanded, that's a broad term, but our traffic study would have to evaluate the road and the intersections of that frontage road, yes.
Expanded within reason, we'll say. How's that?
Appreciate that.
No problem. All right, you want to
Question.
amend your motion?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Are they going to revamp the off-ramp?
We don't know that.
We're
That
not
whole
there yet.
area right there is going to have,
We're not there
that's
yet.
going to be a big job for ADOT.
Right.
They're going to have to redo the whole off-ramp.
Hold on.
I-
We're not there yet, but I get what you're saying.
I amend my motion as discussed.
Okay.
A second.
Are you good with that statement, how that reads?
He doesn't even know anymore.
Let's redo the motion. Just, yeah, try again. Go ahead.
Wants you to reword the whole thing.
You
Okay.
can just reword it so we are all on the same page.
Sorry.
Before I rescind my previous motion.
Okay.
For discussion purposes only at this point, move to approve such that, one, ADOT has to take a really hard look at it, which we know they will.
Right.
Any improvements that ADOT requires, we'll get a real quick once-over by the county's professional traffic operations engineer, who currently is serving as at least the director of public works, and he may actually be the county engineer at this point, I'm not sure. And at which point he may require additional improvements at the recommendation of a third-party
Yes.
traffic engineer who does additional analysis
Provided by the applicant.
provided by the applicant. Does that sound, would that be legal were I to make that a motion?
I have another question also.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Let's get
Chairman Hassett, Commissioner Patillo, I just want to make sure that I understand what's happening so that we can word it in the resolution that gets sent onto the board. My thought is, what you're trying to accomplish is to have a third-party traffic engineer do an analysis of this site, the access to the site, off-site impacts as part of this development. So that comes in the form of a traffic impact analysis. So I think if we motioned to approve with the condition that a engineered traffic impact analysis be submitted and approved by both ADOT and Mojave County Public Works prior to a site plan approval, that would meet that requirement that you guys are trying to get at, and it's easier for my brain.
And I think the big thing is nobody trusts ADOT. I mean, honestly, I think, I'm sure they'll do a good job, but at the end of the day, it's going to be going down to probably somebody in Phoenix at some point.
Yeah.
You know, they don't live in Yucca. They don't drive by there. They're not going to know. I just think it behooves us in our duty to try and I do see this as alleviating a problem that currently exists right now, more along the lines of what some of the other commissioners are thinking. But I also don't want us to go ahead and willy-nilly approve it with the county's process in place and then have ADOT say, oh yeah, everything's fine. And because I agree, it's a pretty tenuous ingress and egress situation there. The roads are not that great. There's additional infrastructure or additional traffic coming, as was so aptly pointed out by one of the speakers today. And so I just want to make sure that, you know, they're not going to get away without doing something.
Okay, so.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
To revert back to him, they're going to do all this work out on the highway. Are we holding the people that live in the area harmless of taxes? Are they going to be ultimately charged for this?
That's out of our wheelhouse.
It's out of ours, but it's something to consider.
Yeah, but how's it relevant?
Well, I mean, the improvements on the off-ramp and the frontage road, those are state property anyway, so it's not going to reflect, and they're not going to go back and charge. If anything, the improvements are going to be required from the state level to the applicant to do. So decel lanes, egress, ingress are going to be the responsibility of 100% funding from the applicant on their property.
ADOT was trained by Caltrans.
Well, all right, okay, so there was a clarification of a motion. The public hearing has been closed. Would you like to make that motion to make him happy so it's easy to type up the resolution?
You did.
No, he said for conversation purposes, XXXX.
So I move to approve item 10 with the condition that a third-party traffic impact analysis is performed as part of the whole application and approval process through the existing site plan and everything else that this is going to have to go through, and that third-party analysis be acceptable to both ADOT and Mojave County, in addition to staff recommendations.
Mojave County Public Works.
Mojave County Public Works, yes.
Oh, he's just trying to get it off his desk. Do we have a first?
I'll second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Martin and Hubbard, right? All right, motion carries. Item 20 is Matthew.
Item number 20 is the evaluation request to adopt the 2025 Mojave County General Plan to replace the 2015 Mojave County General Plan as required by Arizona revised statutes. Get the slideshow back up in the right spot again. So this went to the Mojave County Board of Supervisors. They took a look at it and had some proposed changes. State statute requires that those changes made by the board get sent back to this commission, and then for a new vote for approval to be then sent back to the board. So I just wanted to go over those changes that have been made, that were...
Sorry that they were exiting loudly. Our apologies. When you put a pause on this. Thank you. While we're waiting for the noise to die down, may I please have Jim Hellwig, Jennifer Esposito, Travin Pennington, Stephen Robeson, and Mark Danley all to the front row to expedite conversations. Go ahead, sir.
All right, so these are the proposed changes that were voted on and approved by the board to be sent back here. So first one is in the land use maps. So in the Golden Valley area, all parcels that front Highway 68 between Convo Road and Egar Road have been changed to now have a land use designation of general commercial. So before we'd looked at the zoning of the property, and those properties that were zoned residential, we had those showing as suburban residential. This changes all of them regardless of the zoning. If they have frontage on Highway 68, the new designation is general commercial. So this is what that new map will look like now.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sorry, there's more.
Oh, I'm sorry. Keep going. Forgot you're the applicant.
I'll try and cruise through them pretty quick. So policy 12.11, which was the proposed developments within 3 miles of an incorporated city should be required to develop to urban development standards, has been removed. Policy 9.2 has been amended regarding the development of beneficial renewable energy production. Added the portion where it now says if the energy produced is to stay in the county. So the county should encourage this if it's going to stay in the policies 10.1, 10.2, and 10.4. 10.1 and 10.2 have been removed regarding energy codes and energy conservation technique. 10.4 in the previous version is now 10.2 after those other two were removed. And we've added the words consider incorporating so that policy now reads, the county should consider incorporating energy efficient design and materials into new county facilities. Under the implementation measures for energy projects, the implementation measure that stated consider the adoption of the International Energy Conservation Code has been removed. Under the community development section, which is section 5A, has been removed. This is kind of the beginning of the talking about the different land uses throughout the county. Policy 29.4 is regarding FEMA floodplains. This one has been amended to clarify that these regulations about base flood elevations are specifically for properties located within those FEMA floodplains. Policy 29.7 is one that stated that parcels that are created through the rezone process that are between 1 and 10 acres needed to basically show that they have sufficient space to provide a home, a well site, and a septic system all out of the flood hazard area. This policy has been removed. Under hazard management, where it talks about defensible space as it pertains to wildfires, so maintaining that defensible space for properties that have steep slopes, that implementation measure has been removed. Under the housing element portion, under section 5B, we had a couple paragraphs that address the reference and address the county's 2023 housing needs assessment study that was done. Those portions that refer to and describe that assessment have been removed. Policy 33.3, about identifying substandard housing and promoting revitalization and rehabilitation. This policy has been removed. Under the transportation element, all of the areas where we referenced the Lake Havasu Metropolitan Planning Organization, or LHMPO, now include references to the Bullhead City Metropolitan Planning Organization as well. The Bullhead City one was not in existence when we first started this process. It is now in existence. And then I believe this is the last one. For major plan amendments, it's been amended to clarify that what constitutes a major plan amendment versus a minor plan amendment is a size of 640 acres. The existing threshold was 1,800 acres for projects that are not alternative energy projects and 3,800 acres for alternative energy projects. So now, regardless of the type, if it exceeds 640 acres for a general plan amendment, it would fall under that major plan amendment category. And just to clarify that this portion will also need to be amended in the Mojave County zoning ordinance as well. Once the general plan is adopted, we'll then bring a amendment to the zoning ordinance that clarifies this portion as well. And that concludes our presentation. Staff recommends approval of the proposed general.
Thank you.
I make a motion.
Opening a public hearing, may I please have Jim Helwig?
Morning, everyone.
Morning, sir.
This is
Name and address for the record, please.
Jim Helwig, 981 Gordon Drive, Kingman.
Thank you.
This is about a piece of property in Golden Valley. What was just talked about was I have 10 acres right there. In the old area plan, it was zoned urban. It's been changed now with a new area plan. It's going to be AR, which is, we're going backwards as far as highest and best use would be concerned. So what is being created here is an island of AR with 9,500 square foot homes only, underground utilities, sidewalks behind it, and commercial in front of it. So I'm asking you to consider just this, have it remain what it used to be in the old area plan, urban or commercial, whatever the planners think is best. I don't think an island of AR around tighter zoning is correct or highest use. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Jennifer Esposito?
Thank you, Jennifer Esposito, Golden Valley property owner, Kingman resident. I don't know if you can see that, but if you can't, it's okay because I'll read it to you. When the general plan came back before the Board of Supervisors, they suggested a lot of changes, and I agree with those changes. However, one of the things that came up at the meeting was that Supervisor Don Martin, who was here, and I don't know why has left, moved.
He's here.
Yeah, oh, is he? Okay, I didn't see him. But anyways, he moved that he wanted, as the District 4 Supervisor where Dorado is located, that it was his desire to revert that back. And Chairman Lingenfelter seconded. It did not get referred back because there was no third vote. After the meeting, I called Supervisor Ron Gould and asked him why he was not the third vote to revert Dorado back, and he said that he was unprepared to make that decision. He was surprised by it, but he wanted to rescind the 2006 resolution that created Dorado. So what I have on the screen is the screenshot from the meeting minutes of the November 17th meeting, agenda item 49, which passed unanimously. Every supervisor at whose will and pleasure you serve voted for this. And I want to read it to you. It's very important, the wording, okay? The resolution that passed was the rescission of Board of Supervisor Resolution number 2006-657A and revert to pre-adoption land use designation. Now, a unanimously passed Board of Supervisors resolution has the force of law. A general plan is a living document that can be modified. But it was the will of all 5 supervisors to revert the land use for Dorado back to 36 acres, which is compatible with the zoning. Thank you.
Traven Pennington.
Traven Pennington, I'm here representing Engel Homes. I live at 2247 Mesa Drive, Kingman. We, in the current form, we support this general plan update, and I'm available here to answer if anybody had any questions regarding the Dorado project.
Thank you very much. Mark Danley.
To be the last speaker for reasons I wouldn't hear.
Sure. I mean, as long as there's not some kind of weird threat associated with that. Stephen Robinson.
Stephen Robinson, 5373 Highway 68 in Golden Valley. Commissioners, I recommend that for this Highway 68 corridor, except for the part that Don Martin made a motion at the last board meeting to turn everything touching Golden Valley or Highway 68 be commercial, I request that you retain the existing land designations for the rest of the Highway 68 corridor, except for about 9 parcels that are clearly suburban. They're 1 to 2.5 acres. The map, which I can show you on the map, which is, you'll have to look closer. I have the list of those areas that are already 1 to 2.5 acres, and they should, instead of retaining the existing urban designation, they should be submitted as suburban. But the rest of the corridor, for the benefit of future development, we have 15 items on today's agenda from Golden Valley. Well, 14, not counting of the Yucca. To take away people who purchased the land, like Mr. Hellwig, that's why I put this one here, his piece there, of we see that they retained urban development for those 3 1.25 acre parcels, 1.45. Last year, you approved turning that and the piece just below it, which I own, into low-density residential. You approved that. Taking away the designation currently of the rest of that area would be a mistake that would be costly to the county and to future development. I hope you will consider taking all the rest of, retaining the designation.
Thank you, sir. All right, slowly approach, please. Just kidding. Mr. Danley, I do have a question for staff, because that's 2 people that have presented this and had similar questions. So with regards to the parcels that he's referring to that are clearly suburban, and then that Mr. Hellwig said this is his, and I mean, they could just change the zoning, correct? I mean, if he wanted to sell this to this guy and they wanted it all to be commercial, there's really no reason why he can't.
Chairman Hassett, that's correct. Yeah, they could. So if they wanted to purchase one of those parcels that's green, that suburban development area, they could purchase it, change the zoning. I mean, I'd have to look at the zone. I don't know the zoning for all of these parcels.
Right. I'm just saying I know they're asking us to look at these, little one-offs on here, but the reality of it is the ones that he just referenced, the ones that are three that are clearly suburban because, whatever, I don't know, someone's living on them or whatnot. If you're going to switch them to commercial based on the supervisor's request, I mean, they can just flip right back. I mean, it's not that big of a deal is what I'm asking.
Just, Mr. Chair, just to kind of re-clarify, this doesn't change the zoning at all. So all this does is put a general plan or a designation over the top of them.
Okay.
So they're not having to rezone or do anything. The zoning is existing. For example, on the sheet that you have in front of you, if they wanted to come forward and present that as commercial, there's commercial probably in the vicinity and it's close to the highway. It would be determined by this commission if that's appropriate or not with the zoning. All this establishes is the designation along Highway 68 as commercial.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for the clarification. Mr. Danley?
Okay, as the timer starts, Mark Danley, 16145 South Airy Pine Road, Yucca. And the reason I wanted to be the last guy is I don't do this for a living. I'm an engineer. I used to make spacecraft from assembly to orbit. I don't know how you guys do things. I don't know what rules you guys follow, but I got kind of shanghaied on the front desk coming in. Before they handed me this, I said, what am I here to talk about? And they said, item 20. No, item 10. This is why I wanted to be last, because I didn't want to upset anybody going back to 10. And while sitting here...
Mr. Danley?
Yes, sir.
I would be more than happy to listen to you, and if it's on item 10, I'm going to ask that you just come back up on call to the public at the end of the meeting so that we can stick specifically to item 20 for right now.
Right, and that's why I wanted to be last, because I don't do what you guys do. I'm an engineer.
Well, I can't do what you do, so
thank you.
I'll call you back up here in a second, okay?
Thanks.
You're very welcome. No one else has signed up to speak on this item, so I'm going to close the public hearing and ask to entertain a motion unless there's questions or comments from commission for staff.
I actually do have a comment. I mean, surprisingly, right?
I didn't say that.
So I listened intently to the Board of Supervisors meeting on this, and generally agreed with most of what was said. I am incredibly disappointed, and again, I'm not going to die on the sword, but incredibly disappointed that 12.11 got removed. Proposed development within 3 miles of an incorporated city should require development to urban development standards. Now, I'm not saying that's the right verbiage, but Mojave County should absolutely recognize incorporated municipalities and their influence on the neighboring properties. Most states have it to where it's at least a mile. 3 miles was too many, I agree. But Mojave County's interest is to protect those municipalities along with us. You can't just go in there and say, well, I want a road here. It lines up with Bullhead, but we're just going to call it something different. And that's the integrity of the planning. And Bullhead has low density, and Mojave County just arbitrarily says, yeah, we'll just inflict high density right next to that because we don't care. We're outside of their proximity. So I think that was a mistake. I don't know why it got thrown in there. I know that there were some districts that had some concerns, but anyway, that was just really my comment on that. I wish it were there, but I'm not going to certainly hold the process up. I just wanted to make that comment.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Ruge? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had a comment. My apologies.
My only comment on that is every time that one of these issues comes up that cities should have something to say about it, oftentimes they don't. Nobody's even here speaking on behalf of the cities, advocating for anything that I can
Well,
see.
what's interesting in a lot of municipalities, a lot of these situations, it's actually a joint review process because it's in that proximity. the county sends that to the municipalities as a joint review process so that they get influence. They can say nothing, but they at least get to talk if they want. As it is, it's like, yeah, we're not interested. And I'm not saying this document is the ultimate driving force for that process. I mean, there may be other areas in the county that provides that, but I just wanted to make that comment.
Chairman Hassett, if I could just address that real quickly, just to clarify. So, I mean, the general plan is a guiding document for the county. Currently, the current policy of staff is that if we have commercial development that's within about a mile of a city limit, we're going to send that commercial development to the city for their review and comment. And same thing with new subdivision. So we do already have that in place as what staff currently does with new development throughout the county. So there is some level of that already existing.
Thank you very much. Any additional questions or comments from commissioners for staff? If not, I'd like to entertain a motion on item 20.
Make a motion to approve the general plan as shown and written with staff recommendations.
We have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Item carries. Item 21, commissioners' comments. Limited to announcements, availability, attendance at conferences.
I have a comment, just something I want to make sure is on the record.
Yes, sir.
Staff and our attorney and or the audience may have seen me real quickly say something to you and walk in back for item 14. I just wanted to make it clear that I do have a conflict on that, and that's why I did that.
I did note it.
I did not. I kind of, had that in there that this item was further on down, and then I noticed the applicant who I have a conflict of interest with. So.
Thank you, sir. Any other commissioners' comments? Hearing none, I'd like to move to call to the public. Mr. Danley. Thank you for so patiently waiting.
And thank you for so patiently assisting in my education.
My pleasure.
As I said, I'm an engineer. I got Shanghaied at the front, so maybe. But and as I said, I don't do what you guys do, and I would not want to be in any of your chairs because I would be a constant pain in the guziksu to the remaining members. Because item 10, you guys and ladies are, and first of all, I don't mean to offend anybody. I have a brain defect. I have between 80 and 400 processes running through my brain simultaneously. The doctors told me why, and I understood it. However, that makes me a great engineer that a lot of engineers don't like. But with item 10, I'm not saying that you should not have stamped it approval, but from an engineer standpoint, and the gentleman seated next to during the proceeding, 100 other things that needed to be discussed first came to mind. Number one, the whole thing went backwards. The guy buys the property and then comes here and hits the opposition. It would have been more prudent if some sort of an impact study was done before he spends his money on 24 acres. He has no regard for the thousands of acres that people own out there. And then 8 seconds. What about, he says it's not no houses around it. Yeah, but it's the only way for these thousands of acres of people to get to the highway. I mean, there's just so many things backwards. I'm at zero, but I'm a student of history. And to the left gentleman, I don't mean this as an offense, but I'm old. And I'm older than you think I am. And I am a student of history. And I will make this one comment. My observations of history have profoundly indicated to me that the solution to a problem is not to continue forward and do more of it. And that I would urge, because I don't do this, if this could be slammed into reverse, and I know you guys talked about ADOT and you guys talked about conditional upon approval of ADOT, and I hold a TSSCI. I've worked in government, and I can't tell you a whole lot about it, obviously, but if it is possible, it should be reversed to get some of these hanging questions, of which I've got an hour's worth. If there was some sort of a session meeting, stuff people haven't even thought of, stuff should be resolved before, because as has been pointed out to me, you guys and gals are the first line. You've got to get a good look at this stuff. If nothing else, get in your cars, drive to Yucca.
We
I've
did.
got hours of footage.
I really appreciate your comments, and thank you for building all those rockets in the past, but sometimes the best way out is to go forward, and that's what we're doing today.
I know, but this isn't forward. That's what I'm saying. This is backwards.
This isn't a point for conversation either, but I do appreciate your time here today. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas, and I would encourage you to go to the Board of Supervisors to explain that point, because that's where it's going to go next.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, and have a great day. Come on up.
Thank you, Chairman Hassett. Jennifer Esposito. My comment is just to acknowledge on the record that the Arizona Open Meeting Law Enforcement Team did find in the affirmative that the General Plan Advisory Committee did violate open meeting laws. I am the one that made the complaint, and my legal opinion was vindicated. I don't know if all members were provided with that letter. Now, the county attorney, I just want to make sure, the county attorney did remedy the situation by having the general plan re-presented, but I just would like to remind members that these sorts of rules are important, and they may come with, I believe it's a $500 fine. So the ombudsman was generous in not imposing a fine for breaking the law, but the law was broken. And, my point was not to impose a fine on anyone. My point was just to say, these rules are in place and they need to be followed, and you shouldn't be hiding meetings from the public that aren't properly posted, properly announced, that, the rules aren't that hard to follow, and I hope that going forward you will follow them, but we're watching you. Thank you very much, and you also have a very Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much. The county attorney was very efficient on keeping us in communication with that particular legal situation, so just to set that at ease. Come on down, sir. And Scott's covering all fines.
Just to speak again, thank you for the time. The Antler Mine, the traffic needs to be studied out on Alamo Road. Get your road tubes out there, get your class, speed, and size studied this spring, because for the next 21 years, you're going to see traffic just escalate on that road, and you'll have a good baseline to establish what you need to do. But that frontage road needs to be widened to a 70-foot easement to get a truck out safely. Have a great day.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time. There's no other individuals who'd like to speak at Call to the Public. I'm going to very rapidly adjourn this meeting so we can make our training session at 12. I nailed it. Have a great time, everyone. Meeting adjourned.
Good job.
Told you we'd do it.
You're welcome.